Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Daniel Moran with capitalism.com, and today we're going to talk about how to reach out to influencers to grow your business, grow your brand, grow your exposure. So number one, the question that often comes up, or the misconception that often comes up among people who are interested in connecting with influencers, is they think that influencers are somehow like a magic button that will fix all their problems because they have a lot of exposure. And that's just simply not the case. In fact, a lot of times, if you work with an influencer, it can break your business if there are not certain criteria met. And specifically, that criteria is, does the product that you have or the thing that you want to amplify, does it match the influencer's audience? Not does it match the influencer, not does the influencer have a big following, but does the following that influencer have, do they connect with, or will they connect with the message that you are presenting? So, for example, there are people that think, well, you know, if just so-and-so tweeted out my stuff, if just Tim Ferriss talked about me on his podcast, if just Oprah picked up my book, yes, all those things would mean a lot of meaningful exposure. But that exposure does not mean sales. It does not mean positive exposure. And it does not mean more money or anything closer to the result that you want, unless the thing that you're providing connects with that person's audience. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make, even if there is a fit, is they'll start reaching out and they go directly for the ask. Just like anything, everything is relationships. So influencers are people, and people are selfish, and they don't want to talk about your thing. And they don't want to mentor you, and they don't want to shout you out. They probably don't even want your money. So the mistake that entrepreneurs specifically will make is they'll say, well, we'll just sponsor this person to talk about it. And that is a spokesperson mentality. Spokespeople are vastly overrated. Audiences are vastly underrated. The difference is a spokesperson is someone who represents a brand and says, I'm so-and-so and I like this. An audience is when someone syndicates your message, your product, your brand to their audience, and that is much more powerful. Audiences are actually very common. They're everywhere. If you're willing to look at social media, email lists, direct mail, Facebook groups, YouTube. But the way that you identify them is looking at what is the responsiveness of this audience. Not do they have the vanity metrics of the number of followers or the number of views. It doesn't mean anything. Engagement means everything. So the way that you position your product or your brand to the influencer in a way that makes them want to talk about you is not by saying, hey, can you talk about my thing? Or can I pay you to talk about my thing? It is showing that it has value to their community. Does it make the person look good to talk about your product or your brand? Now, if it doesn't, it might still be a transaction that you make. You might still pay that person to talk about you, but there won't be buy-in from the influencer. And the things that really create an exponential curve are when an influencer has an audience that wants what you have, and sharing it makes that person look good. So an example that comes to mind is when Oprah brings on an author that has something of value to her audience. So Oprah did a series with Eckhart Tolle a couple years ago where she brought him on week after week after week. Why? Because what he had to say connected with her audience, and it was new information to Oprah, and by her sharing it, it actually made her look good. It amplified her platform. It created more connection with her community. Now, if what you have or what you're asking of the influencer doesn't do that, then there's actually a diminishing value to that person's audience. And what I mean by that is, if someone pays me to talk about your thing, then I'm actually cashing in chips. I'm cashing in the connection that I have with my audience I've spent years building up. And that's an expensive thing to do. It's an expensive trade of long-term results. So if what you've got doesn't make my audience look good and help them on their journey, I don't want it. And neither do other influencers. So number one is what you have valuable for their audience? Number two, does it make the influencer look good? Number three, we still are not talking about money yet. We're still not talking about what the trade is. The number three step is to go for the simplest yes possible. A simple yes might be, can I send you a free sample of my product? A simple yes may be, can you send me your rate card? A simple yes might be, can I share your stuff on my social media following? A simple yes may be, hey, I know this other influencer that I think you should connect with. Can I connect the two of you? Your job is to be giving to relationships, not trying to extract out of them. So people are selfish. People want what's in it for them. And so if you find out what that person wants and you give it to them, you now have their attention. Whereas most people are going in and saying, will you mentor me? Will you shout out my thing? Will you hop on the phone with me? These are all asks. Your job is to give. And you do that by looking for the simplest yes possible. What does someone else want? That if you get them to say yes, it opens up the next part of the conversation. That's how you connect with influencers. That's actually how you connect with anybody that you want. You find a way to make them look good. You offer value to them and their tribe. And then you get them to say yes by giving them something. It's the same with influencers. It's same with business connections, partners, whatever you want. That's how you connect with people. Hope you enjoyed this video. I attempt to give by creating a lot of content on business, investing, cash flow, entrepreneurship, mindset, and I do it here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe. I also have a podcast over at capitalism.com where we're publishing all the time experts, strategies, secrets, tips, business, cash flow, investing, mindset. And I can almost guarantee you that if you listen to it for a few weeks, it'll change your life. So you can find that at capitalism.com or just search for capitalism.com wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for watching.